Oh, it says apologize to the Soprano kids.
I read online that she didn't like you, the Sopranos girl.
Jamie.
Whatever.
That's the one thing that hurt your feelings.
That bothers me.
Yeah, what happened?
That's the only thing that bothers me.
But what happened there?
What's the name of that podcast? The name of that podcast.
Oh, she's going to be
today, pal.
Not today, pal.
She's going to be pissed that you didn't remember the name.
The Sopranos girl name?
No, Jamie.
No, Jamie-Lynn Sigler.
Jamie,
Jamie, yeah.
She was on The Sopranos, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And the guy that was her brother is also on. She does a podcast with him.
The guy who was her brother.
YMH. Yeah.
So the Sopranos boy and the Sopranos girl.
Yeah.
Boy, you could take just a tidbit of information,
crystallize it. Let me explain what I just did there, Jackie.
So that bothered me a lot.
What happened? Can you tell me what happened?
Well, I'll tell you what happened in my life.
Okay.
I'll tell you what happened in my life.
Please.
And this bothers me. So I don't care. I really don't. I think it's funny if you don't like me or you don't think I'm funny or you don't think what I'm doing is funny. And that's what this whole conversation has been about. I don't care about that.
Okay.
I just care that, listen, if I had to do one thing in life, if I wasn't allowed to host, I love this because I love being with my daughter. But I might never, I'm going to say this here, I might never be on another podcast again. I might never, ever do somebody else's podcast
If you
again.
were not hosting?
No. I love stand-up comedy.
Right.
I will always do stand-up comedy.
Yes.
And I love doing this Howie Mandel does stuff. But because of what happened with Jamie Sigler.
From The Sopranos.
And her brother.
Yeah, the Sopranos girl and the Sopranos boy.
I may never do anybody's podcast ever again.
But what happened with
Here's what happened.
Jamie's
I'm gonna tell you. I didn't know anything happened.
Oh.
So I told you I watched Red Bar.
Red Bar?
I also watched this other guy, 2lazy2try. Have you listened to that podcast?
No, I'm too lazy to try.
Good one.
So I think this was this last week or a week and a half ago?
I think it was.
Yeah, a few days ago.
A few days ago, I listened to 2lazy2try. I always listen. And he's knocked me before in my appearances on things, and that's okay. But this one got me.
Which one?
I'll play it.
All right, so a couple months ago, Howie Mandel was on Not Today, Pal, the podcast with Jamie-Lynn Sigler and Rob Iler from The Sopranos. And this was a rough podcast for them because Howie was just insufferable. And I actually made a video about it when it happened because it was just so awkward. And you could tell Jamie and Rob were uncomfortable.
So here's the thing.
What the fuck happened? He still didn't tell me what happened.
He's in watching this thing. He's not saying that I'm not good. He's not saying I'm not funny. He probably thinks I'm not good and not funny.
There she is. There's the girl and there's the boy.
So then I went, what do you mean I was inside? That they seemed uncomfortable because I didn't get that vibe when I was there. And I want to preface this by saying I was kind of excited. I forgot that she was on The Sopranos. I didn't watch The Sopranos, and I didn't know that he played the brother. I'm going to be totally honest.
You don't do homework for this show. So what? But you were excited because
where
you
was
brought.
it's a physical place you went to, right?
Yeah, I went to, and this is when I was in Austin, Texas.
Okay.
Can I tell you how excited he was? By the way, he had our whole team go with him to this office to go there and see it because he was so excited about it.
To be on The Sopranos
Just
kids.
to go see it and to hang out and see what they're doing there and to see them. Like, he was actually excited. He's like, I watch
a podcast. I'd watch them and I liked them. I didn't know from the pieces that I had watched that they were.
You just thought they were two kids doing a podcast.
I didn't think they were kids, but they were two people doing a podcast. I like them. I think they're smart. I like their conversation.
Right.
I did that one, and I did the one with and now I even forget her name, the single girl, the girl that talks about dating.
Phyllis?
Exactly.
Lauren Compton?
Yeah, I did the Lauren Compton. I'm really bad with names.
Yeah, Lauren
Okay. So, but I did that. I had watched that. She's like really sexy and it's funny and I watch all of Tom Segura's stuff. He owns the studio and Two Bears, One Cave, Your Mama's House, and all. And the week that I was there, I got offered an opportunity to do a bunch, and I'll talk about the bunch. And one of them that I wanted to do, I had seen them. I wanted to do them. I did two at that studio, And I think Jamie-Lynn Sigler, I've seen her and I know her
The
from
Sopranos kid, yeah.
I didn't know she was a Soprano, but I knew she was an actress, and I had forgotten that she was. And I said, I'd love to do them. I like the way they talk, and it's kind of low key, and I think I could have fun. That's what I
was hoping.
Yeah, and even if they don't get my humor or don't like it, that's okay. But I just want to be there. I think they're smart, and I think they're funny, and I think they're good, and I was happy to be there.
Okay.
So then I saw this Too Lazy to Try to say that I was insufferable, and they were having a bad time with me. In my recollection, I didn't sense that they were having a bad time with me. And on Too Lazy to Try, he had clips of them talking about a certain guest. Let's see that. Watch this.
Yeah, it just felt like this person was like told that they had to be here and they didn't want to be here.
Here's why knowing who you are, I think, should be important.
So they got the feeling that this person, not me, I thought, this person didn't want to be there. This person was making it awkward.
So you're listening to this thing thinking, who the fuck is that guy?
So just to be safe, because here's the thing. I don't care if you don't like me. I don't care if you don't find me entertaining.
You're talking to the viewers.
Right. But I'm talking to anybody.
Yeah.
But if I make you personally uncomfortable or I offend you, that breaks my heart. I never want to bother somebody. I mean, the worst thing that I don't care about is that you don't find me funny. You don't think I'm cringe. Your grandmother dies. The family's ruined. That can happen. But if I spend some time with you and you're offended by what I've done and you feel bad, I never want to make anybody feel bad. You know, that's where I'm kind of sensitive about that. So the fact that I may have made somebody feel like uncomfortable in the room as their guest really bothers me. So just to be safe, when I saw that, I DM'd Jamie. And
The Sopranos kid.
I didn't know that she was in The Sopranos.
Right.
Did you know her from Entourage?
I saw her in a bunch of things and social media and her boyfriends of the past and things like that. And I think she's incredibly attractive and smart and funny. And anyway, here's the point. So I DM'd her. Can we show the DM that I sent to her? Just the DM to her. So I put, this is my DM. I hope I wasn't the horrible guest you were talking to Jim Norton about. If I came off offensive, I apologize. I truly was happy to be on your show and had a really good time.
Can't believe you did that.
Why? Why is that bad? Why can't you believe I did that?
Because, first of all, she's just a Sopranos kid.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So maybe you were afraid there was going to be a hit out on you.
No, I wasn't doing it out of fear.
No,
I'm
he
doing it.
really-
I'm doing it because go ahead. You can say.
I know you. And the thing that bothers you the most, and I've brought this up before, is when he thinks he made someone else upset or angry or offended. That's what bothers him the most. If he thinks someone else is upset at him for something he did.
Mm-hmm. When the motivation is never that's the thing.
No, even when I go someplace, my motivation, first of all, I'm motivated I want everybody to be happy, to feel good. I would love you to laugh. I sometimes am, just because I will blurt, I have diagnosable ADHD and all these other things. So I'll blurt out, she gets mad at me, but I'll correct somebody if you pronounce something wrong. And that's actually, I listen. I will give an odd answer to a question because it's awkward. And for me, that awkwardness is kind of funny. Mm-hmm. But I will never do something that will make you feel and make you feel like I'm belittling you. So I wrote her that. And within an hour, she DM'd back. And this was her DM back. So the one, which is really sweet, right? She goes, it says, "I'm so glad to know you enjoyed it. Truly, we were very excited to have you on."
We were.
You know?
We were very.
Well, there you go. This is the Sopranos kid writing that?
Oh, I didn't know that she was in The Sopranos.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Yeah. Okay. So then, but that wasn't enough because she didn't say, "No, I wasn't talking about you."
Oh, she didn't. confirm it.
No, I think that's pretty much confirming.
No,
I was
wait. So I wanted to make sure. So I wrote her back one more time. Go ahead. So I was the awful guest?
Oh, my God. And did she write back?
No.
The Sopranos.
So yes,
kid.
that's
Oh, I didn't know she was on the
that's
Sopranos.
confirming.
Oh, my God.
I just
I
want
think
to
that's
say,
confirmation that it was about you.
but and then I've been watching.
So it
combing
may not
through
have been about him.
No, I think
No, it was.
It was. That's confirmation.
That's confirmation that it was me. And then now I've been watching the Too Lazy to Try because he shows scenes from it, or we pulled scenes from it where it's been killing me. How can I construe, like, where would they get a bad vibe from me? Now, here's what I will tell you. I will tell you that my wife tells me this all the time. Because I'm medicated, I have no, when I'm not performing on stage, I have no, I sit very, I live in a gray zone, and my mood's there. So I'm not a good reactor, and I'm kind of,
Are you that way right now?
I'm emotionless right now.
Emotionless.
Yeah.
Emotionless.
And motionless. Well, you know that about me, right? Because people will go, I'll say something, and then they'll go, why are you so mad? I go, I'm not mad. I'm just not, I'm not mad. But so sometimes I can be construed by that. But in the name of my sensibility and my comedy, I will sometimes give you like I'm doing now, but it's my podcast. I will give you a retort that if you saw it in writing, it might seem mean or weird. I was trying to see where these moments are. We have some. Jeremy,
can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you were not on medication at this moment, how would you be right now?
Oh, but it would be incredibly depressed. But that's
You would
that's
be
a thing.
You would be depressed.
Yeah, but I also don't control my reactions to things, and I'll show you. So we pulled some stuff from that episode, from the episode of Jamie's. You said she was in the
Sopranos.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pull. Show me a clip, and
the
I'm wondering
boy-
how it could
the boy
be.
is from the Sopranos too.
I didn't know. Go ahead, pull a clip.
Okay.
I think my mom, in particular, would always say, like, never let him see you sweat. Don't let anybody know you have a problem.
We're talking about mental health.
Always be
Right.
perfect. That was just, and
So
because
weird.
she was
we have so many similarities. I'll never forget the day my dad.
You're very serious
had
here.
this. He was a member of this club.
She's very serious.
Like a golf club and stuff. And he took me on a Sunday, and he took me to the sauna. His friends used to on Sundays take a sauna, and he took me to the sauna. He sat me in the sauna, and I'll never forget. He looked at me and he said, "Never let them see you sweat."
what a challenge.
So my thought is.
I think
My thought is that sometimes they didn't know that, or maybe they knew it was a joke, but maybe because they were talking seriously, and
About
then
her mother.
that is for sure. That's for sure what it
Which
was.
reminds me of my father when he took me to.
Not only did you interrupt her heartfelt, heartwarming account
No, I
of
think
her
he waited.
childhood, but you decided to one-up it with a joke.
I think he waited the appropriate amount of time after the story about her mother, and he gave a story of how he relates to that story about his mother. I thought it was beautifully done, Howie. Beautifully
but
done.
Don't go on serious
I get that
podcasts.
they probably thought. See, show another clip. These are supposed to be pulled.
Oh my God.
Do you have reoccurring dreams? Ones you've had that stopped, dreams you've had.
The most.
The size of that
Yeah.
coffee.
So do you have reoccurring dreams? I'll translate.
Okay, first of all,
yes.
stop it for a second.
That's a
stop it for a
surprise.
second.
Howie.
So another thing that happens is, I'm sitting in that, you could see, like, nothing, and he goes, I'll translate. I was having trouble reading. The questions were coming off of a thing that I was pulling out, and I couldn't read the writing, and I was kind of making fun of, like, I can't read what the fuck this says, But I swear to you, I'm having a good time, and I swear to you, I'm thrilled about being there. And he's going, okay, I'll translate, because I act as my mind is going. She asked me a question. I understood the question.
You're thinking of a joke.
You're coming up with the next story that she can relate to.
I'm coming up with, but I'm being honest with you. I'm trying to come up with something witty and funny, so there's not a thing. So they're looking at me like, the fuck? I asked them a question. Just answer the fucking question. So first of all, go back to the beginning of that clip. I'll show you.
Do you have reoccurring dreams? Ones you've had that stopped. Dreams you've had
The most.
the most.
Yeah. So do you have reoccurring dreams? I'll translate.
See, I'm not responding, but that's my
yes.
Thanks, guys. That was Howie.
Now stop it for a
You
second.
are the worst, but I have to tell you, as someone who was a red carpet correspondent,
Yes.
and I did do red carpet for AGT at times, my least favorite person to interview, and I said this all the time, was him, because I can never get a straight answer out of him. I can never plan ahead and know what I was going to ask next, because he was just so off the walls. It was always a joke. I knew that's him.
You can't
but
expect to get a straight answer out of him.
No, I know.
But,
I'm just
they're
saying-
talking about mental health. Listen, he was talking about how he's been diagnosed with OCD. They're all talking about their problems.
He has OCD too?
Yeah, but badly. And he's serious about it.
I
He's
have
asking me.
I have ADHD. What time is it?
Okay. But the point that I'm making is, it's funny to say, have you had a reoccurring dream?
Yes.
Okay. But you see, like, in context, and it's not that they don't get jokes. They're really smart people. But it could also be interpreted like, yeah, I don't want to fucking be there. I'm thinking that's how they did it, and I feel bad about it.
If they interpret it that way, they are simply wrong. It's very clear to me what.
But they're
you did.
not. They're not dumb people. I get it. When you don't know me, if you don't know me, when I watch it, I could see that they could get that interpretation, just like I can see in an audience. Some people are laughing hysterically. Other people don't like me. They don't get it. So
when the question was that long, where she started reading it and then he got involved in it and he said the question again, when it's that, your answer to be no is perfect.
Comedy.
Yes.
But you don't have to know. I wasn't in, and neither were they, in a comedy setting. I'm just saying that their interpretation was, he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't want to be here. And that's not true. I love you guys. I'm a fan of you guys. I'm going to keep watching you guys. I'm never going to do nobody's podcast, because this is the only one.
And
so
by the way, can I just say,
choice.
Can I just say, because I'm reading the comments, you are not playing this for other people to go hate on them.
No, they're great.
No, we love them.
He had
That's
two
not the
choices.
intent. He's just hurt that they might interpret.
He had two choices to make. One of them was no, and the other one was to invent a crazy recurring dream, which he probably thought of possibly doing, but he went with the smarter, funnier answer, which was no.
No, but maybe that's not the time and the place for funny. Maybe it wasn't. That was my problem as a kid. I didn't have any friends. Whenever I was trying to be funny, I was weird. People shunned and wanted to be away. They don't want anything like me to happen on their show.
Kids are cruel.
It's the same kind of thing. When I went on the Tonight Show and I brought on this giant saber-toothed tiger.
Hilarious.
And I spent all that time, and Johnny said, so what is
adjusting
this?
it, you were adjusting it in front of the
Spent an
desk.
inordinate amount of time, and he went, what is this? And I went, I don't want to talk about it. You know that's funny. Johnny didn't find it funny. Johnny didn't want me to be on ever again with him. He thought that was incredibly disrespectful. So I understand people having that, and what I'm doing, the reason I'm talking about it now is because I'm actually apologizing that I would make you feel that way. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying.
Are you talking to the Sopranos kid?
I didn't know they were on The Sopranos.
Yeah.
Okay, and the other thing was, he at the beginning was calling her Jamie, and it was a friendly and
Jamie.
I heard that, didn't say anything, and because I'm so neurotic, I thought,
Jamie.
is her name not Jamie?
Yeah.
So then I didn't know. I thought, I'm on the wrong. This is not Jamie. I was just so confused. I question myself so much inside. It's so fucking noisy that I don't know who anything is. But anyway, let's continue in this clip.
Maybe that Sopranos kid, when he called her Jamie, was trying to be funny.
No, they love each other. Anyway, play this from, start it again with that question. The question. Go ahead.
The most.
Yeah. So
No, that's fine.
Dreams you've had
the most. Yeah. So do you have reoccurring dreams? I'll translate.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. That was Howie. Would you care to share what? For instance, I have a dream that I'm flying all the time, but then oddly sometimes it just stops, but then it comes back for 3 months at a time where I'm constantly flying.
Hearing somebody,
he's being so nice. He's just trying to help me.
Listening to somebody dreams are the most boring fucking thing in the world.
You wake up, but you're in your bed, but you're not awake. You're not awake. You're in your dream, but in your dream, you wake up. You're in your bed, and the window, without anybody touching it, automatically opens, and a whole flock of birds, like white birds, doves, come into the room and fill your room, and it's beautiful, but then they just start all shitting on you. You ever had that dream?
Wow, I've never had that.
Neither.
Me neither.
Try to find somebody who has.
It's a good one. I like it.
You are the worst guest.
Look at her face.
You are the worst.
Look at her first guest. Look at her face.
How
can we fucking get him out of there?
Fucking dream. I love that.
You know what? I came out of this podcast thinking I was great. People are going to love this. In their comments, they hated me. Their viewers, because they're on their wavelength, like ours are on ours, they hated me. They hated me. I didn't care that their viewers hated me. What I do care about is that I made
them uncomfortable. You visibly made them uncomfortable. I'm looking at this now. You answer, and she looks back at a control room like, guys, what the fuck is this? What's going on?
That's just a great
Someone
dream.
help us.
Because it comes across as, this is beautiful.
No, but I say it like it's going to be my
room,
my dream. They're listening to this dream, and then they go, have you ever had that dream? And they go, no. And I go, neither have I. We have to find somebody. I was just trying to be funny. I was not, and maybe funny is subjective, and maybe that wasn't the time.
I'm sorry, but that is fun.
Right, but maybe that's not the time and the place for my humor. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying I don't want her or him to feel uncomfortable. This is my apology kind of thing and my explanation.
You've never had a guest
why
on
you'll
that
never
makes
see
you...
me on another podcast.
You've never had a guest on
Well,
this
I'm
show
always
that
uncomfortable.
That made you uncomfortable, though.
I'm always uncomfortable. Is there another moment?
I think I made Adam Carolla uncomfortable.
Well, yeah, but that was serious.
You know, I can I just tell you a dream that I had? I won't get into the details, but last night I dreamt and I was doing something very menial, like going to the store. And in the dream, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were just like background people.
Mm-hmm. You should have told that dream.
You should call into their podcast.
Yeah. Is there another clip from here?
Is there another clip from there?
Why do you say I don't know with disappointment? Like, why are you disappointed?
Because I feel like I'm disappointing you not knowing the answer.
Well, how disappointed am I not knowing what your grandmother's vagina looks like?
Well, I've been alive for 38 years. No one ever asked me if my grandma had a landing strip, so I thought...
You brought up the fact that your grandmother was removing hair
from her arm. She's not smiling at all.
Well, it doesn't just stop there.
She's just so uncomfortable. But how can I, just asking him about his grandmother's and that combative kind of thing for me, I'm trying to be funny. I was trying.
Anytime you talk about somebody's grandmother's vagina, there's a good chance you're just trying to be funny.
But it came off of, they were asking serious questions about their family members and about mental health, and that's not what it's not a... When I look like even Jim Norton, when they were talking to Jim Norton, they were having a serious conversation. Jim Norton, how often is Jim Norton serious? I love him. He's one of the funny. They were having a serious conversation about how do you deal with a bad guest.
Jim Norton was talking to the Sopranos kids.
I showed you that clip.
Oh, okay.
But okay, is there more?
Oh, wait, there's more.
There's a lot. Look at her stare at me. Go ahead.
My view from where I stand. I don't know. I know who you are, but I don't know you guys. Mm-hmm. But as we sat down, you kind of captured the beginning of this as like, I'm fucked up, and Howie helped me. You know, like not help me, but you know, I have mental health. I love that. I have problems. I'm single. I can't find somebody who won't put their filthy, shitty phone in my bed. And then slowly but surely, the wave of neurosis comes to this side, where you take shoes for no reason at all. Mm-hmm. You're very concerned about what others think more than what is right to do. This is like a wave of, this is like a group session where we're going around. It's a meeting. It's like an intervention.
That's a great synopsis
this is
of
our
this pod.
podcast. It's not Today, Pal. We pass the baton back and forth of just being.
What's the shoes thing all about?
She rents bowling shoes but doesn't put them on.
Exactly.
And I made fun of her.
Flawed humans.
We are all
Wait a second.
Yeah, we'll go to that. They started talking about neurosis.
She goes to a bowling alley.
Yeah.
She rents the bowling shoes.
Yeah.
And does not wear them.
Right.
Okay.
I actually understood that.
You did. Explain that to me.
But I tried to make fun of it, which came off like I was dissing her. What were her? Because she was talking. We were talking about germophobia and being so she said, I will not wear the shoes, but it is the rule that you have to rent them. So I don't want to break the rule. So I rent them and I pay for them and I pay for the lane and then I don't put them on. I bowl in my socks. I understand that, but I'm on, cameras are pointing at me, and I go, well, you're so neurotic. Or he says he doesn't want a girl to put a phone in the bed, and I go, but you're single, so you're going to have that rule? You're going to say, I'd like to sleep with you, but no phone calls. And I was making fun. Probably he felt at his expense, and I do understand it, but I wasn't there to go, I understand. And I'm not comfortable
But that's not entertaining conversations that they're having with
That's your opinion. They have a successful podcast. Their audience loves what they do.
Maybe when they
love
talk
what
about
they do.
The Sopranos, they love it.
No, they don't talk about it. That's why when I watched it, I didn't know they were part of The Sopranos because that's not what they talk about.
They're the Sopranos kids.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Finn Kafka says the simplest explanation to all this is they were expecting AGT Howie, not comedian Howie.
I think you're right. I think you're right.
Let me just say this. I went to a bowling alley once with a bunch of people for this event. This is a true story. And I went to get the shoes, and I said, what's the biggest size you have? And he said 16 triple E. And I said, I'll take those. So I took those shoes. And I'm walking away, and a guy came up. I'm right near the counter where they're getting the shoes. A guy came up, and he says, can I have a 16 triple E, please? And he says, we just gave them out.
Don't go on their podcast. Anyway, just go to the last clip from them, and then we'll move on to
that was
the last clip.
Wasn't it where I said, because he kept going, and one more thing, the last thing. I remember doing this because I thought it was funny. He would go, and he'd ask me a question, and then I'd do the thing, and then he'd say, one last thing. And I would say, and maybe I do it without a smile. I'm not in performance mode. I'm going, how many times are you going to say this is the last thing? Which is... It's just a bad comedic observation.
It's like they didn't get you from beginning to end. They really did not get you.
No, because like he was saying, maybe it's the AGT. And he goes, well, this will definitely be the last thing. No, I said, I'm serious about the question. How many times have you said in your life, this is the last thing? I'm just trying to make it
funny.
And he didn't answer that. Well, it's funny when I tell you
But it is funny.
But context... and intent.
You are the context. You are the context.
I think that what had happened is because we share a lot in common, because he's been open about his mental health struggles and they have struggles. That's what the conversation they wanted to have. That's what they prepared. And I am, in their defense, more available publicly. I'm sure they don't watch my podcast. So I'm available more publicly as the AGT guy than I am the corny, cringeworthy comic that they think I am.